The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
What is good, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of Heart of LAFC, episode 381, called Busy. As you can see, I'm by myself at the moment. The other boys might be on, might not, because we all have been busy, just like LAFC has been. We're going to start the episode talking about how our game against New York City and our game against Columbus in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, and then we'll preview LAFC 2, which will start this weekend. We'll preview Seattle tomorrow, and we will also preview Columbus return leg in that. Before we get started, welcome everyone to the episode. It's going to be a good episode. Probably short and sweet because I'm looking at it like I'm running by myself, but we'll get there in the end. Let's start off with our first game, which was New York City FC. It was a nice little 1-0 win at home against New York City. What more can we say about that? First half was a bit iffy, going into the halftime at 0-0. We had a lineup which I thought was one of our better lineups that we've started with. Obviously had Lloris in goal, Segura, Marlon, and Tuffy in defense, Yeboah, Jesus, Tillman, and Palencia in the midfield, and Bouanga, Bobasi, and Ordaz up top. City started off with obviously freezing goal, Gray, Tazvekic, Risa, and O'Toole in defense. Huck and Parks as the defensive midfielders. Baccarat, Morales, and Wolf as attacking midfielders, and Martinez up top. Going through the facts of the game, they had an injury earlier on, which you don't want to see. Then Parks and Baccarat getting yellow cards as we finish off halftime. Couple of good chances for us, but obviously we didn't hit them when we wanted to, but that is football. Going to the half at 0-0, always take that. Ordaz gets a yellow card in the 57th minute. We make a couple of changes in the 61st, 62nd minute. Jesus, Ordaz, and Marlon all leave the pitch. Martinez, Rollingshead, and number 8 come onto the pitch. Then in the 77th minute, had two more subs, used up all our subs with Bobasi and Palencia leaving, and Giroud and Small Yakov coming on. And then we all know what happens. 86th minute, Ryan Hollingshead comes through with the winner for LAFC. So we get in it with the 1-0 win for that, which, we always take that kind of stuff because a win's a win, and that keeps our season going really well. We're now undefeated for the season. We're one of 3 teams that are on 2-0. It's us, San Jose, and Whitecaps, which is always good to see in the West. We also had a midweek game with the CONCACAF Champions Cup, round of 16, our first leg, which was home against Columbus Crew. Midweek games, obviously not that many people can make midweek games, so the crowd did seem fairly down compared to past, but, there's not a lot you can do with that. We started off strong, showing a lot of grit and determination. Ended up having Bouanga score in the 20th minute, which started off really well for us, especially with our starting lineup of Lloris, Hollingshead, Long, Marlon, Palencia in defense, Tillman, Jesus, and Delgado in midfield, Bouanga, Bobasi, and Martinez starting up top. And Tony's joined us. Tony, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling under the weather, sir. Sorry, no cam for today, just because, I've been sick for the past couple days. It could be because of that cold game on Tuesday, but I'm here as best as I can make it to. So apologies if you don't see my repugnant face.
That's all good, all good. We're just getting into the cold Tuesday game. Starting off well with Bouanga scoring in the 20th minute. What did you think of that first goal by Bouanga?
It was a pretty decent goal. it's like what I expect from him, and just putting it to the back of the net and everything. Um, it's something that we needed from him, and again, it goes back to when Belong goes on, he's on, but of course, he's very hot and cold at the moment.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So going into the halftime, being up 1-0, looking quite good, to be honest. We were taking the game to Columbus. We didn't let them off easily. We kept pushing and pushing. Then in the 47th minute, what happened?
Boaga with a floater, a banger of a goal out from the left side. He just, you know, it was a thing of beauty. It was just very magical, and he puts it into the back of the net, putting us up 2-0. Um, Still watching it every day. It's still amazing that he can hit that, and it's almost reminiscence of another goal that I've seen from him. But it was a beautiful goal. Put it away, and we were off to the races after that.
We were. At this stage, to me, watching it at home, I was getting quite nervous because from there, it looked like Crew stepped up a little bit. They made a couple of changes in this 46th and 64th minute. And to me, it felt like that they were pushing for that away goal. They kept pushing, kept pushing. And then in the 81st minute, what happened, Tony?
Mr. Ordaz finally puts himself into the limelight again. Him and Martinez are interchangeable, and whichever one works well, it's going to work well. And Ordaz puts us up 3-0, puts us with a very comfortable lead going into the next game, because after that, there's nothing really to write home about. Um, Again, the highlight, the highlight slash low light of the game is Drew pretty much didn't play this game, and you saw a different team and the dynamic of everything. So, but 3 points at home. The most important part about it is no goals by Columbus. So if we go to Columbus ending up scoring one, it's going to be beneficial for us.
Oh, 100%. Being 3-0 at the end of the game, players showing grit and determination. This lineup to me seems like a fairly solid lineup that we should be running a lot more with. Um, Being a 3-0 was perfect. We kept keeping Crew goalless is hard. Larios had a couple of good saves and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, going into the second leg next week, which we might as well start previewing now, having a 3-goal buffer works really well for us. As you said, scoring one goal at Columbus, as it sits right now, they've got to win 4-0.
Mhm,
Plain and simple, they've got to win 4-0. We score one, they've got to win 5-1. That
mhm.
away goal counts for two. So going to that, I think that's what we are more focusing on. If it was me, that's what I'll be more focusing on as a team before going into Seattle. So for me, looking at this, as long as we can get one goal, it'll be good. Got to make sure that Diego Rossi gets quietened again. Him starting for them last game and not being able to score a goal and not being able to do much was perfect for the defense, which you can't help but hinder. Going into the second leg next week, what's the main thing for you that we have to do?
Honestly, just keep that momentum and that pressure that we've had going forward. Again, we still have very like we're finally starting to find a rhythm of everything. Again, when certain players are playing, and we're on on terms to like on point to make it to the next round. Again, all we have to do is just score one goal or just keep it 0-0. And moving forward, it's whoever we face with Cavaliers in Miami, and we'll find out when that game is, because I was trying to, I know I'm looking ahead, which I shouldn't, but I was trying to see when we were playing, because it seems like we've been going back and forth with all these Champions League games. So if it goes the way it's been going, that means we would play Miami not this coming week, but the next week.
Yeah, that's 100%. Looking at it, go by what I've found so far. If we do end up playing Miami, we'll be playing them on Tuesday, the 1st of April at home, which
Okay.
for me, that's not that good because I will probably be in Phoenix at the time, so I won't be in LA. So that's another game that I won't be able to get onto. But
Hey,
you know,
it's we have some buddies out there in Phoenix that can drive you back there if you need it.
true. We can always look at that kind of stuff. But the main thing is with the Columbus Crew second leg, just getting there, doing what we can do, making sure that we either A, keep them scoreless, or B, go goal for goal with us scoring the first goal and just keep pounding it, pounding it. And that's what we mainly need to do. As I said, like that's what we're going to look at and all that kind of stuff. We'll keep moving on. You know, got some. Araceli was nice enough to give us some LFC2 updates with what's happening. We signed a new player. We signed a 19-year-old centre back called Eric Diaz. He's on loan from Toro FC from Panama. He's on loan for the 2025 season with a 3-year option through to 2028, which is interesting having a loan option for that. But, you know, we'll take it what we can. LAFC2 actually have a home opener this Sunday, March 9th, as a host of Whitecaps. It's a 7 p.m. kickoff. If you can't make it to the game, it will be streamed on MLS Next Pro. So if you can't get to the game, at least watch it on MLSNextPro.com and make sure that you look at what's happening there. Tony, is there any club and community news that you can give us?
There's a lot of watch parties right now. Unfortunately, I was not able to write everything down again. Me being under the weather the whole time, I've been bedridden for the past 3 days. So unfortunately, I know for sure. Like BA, of course, is hosting their watch party and meet and greet. It is at boop, boop, boop. Excuse me while I pull it up. I saw it somewhere. No disrespect to anybody. Meet and greet, which is at Pico Rivera, 9613 Whittier Boulevard, Pico Rivera, California, 90660. Kickoff is at 1:30, and then starts from noon, and we will go till 5 o'clock. So if you've never been to this venue, a lot of you, um, 3252, um, a lot of you, 3252, supporters and members, will know this location. This is the location that we held our pretty much after cup winning party, the after party for winning the MLS Cup for the first time. So, it's a nice venue. Drinks and food options are available. So if you can make it out there for Pico Rivera, that'll be great. Also, I know anyway. Um, okay, we go. We also have the 2025 LA Marathon Cheer Squad, Sunday, March 16th at 7 a.m. to 10:15. Join us at the corner of Hollywood and Boulevard and North Orange Drive as we cheer on our members who are running the LA Marathon. Again, very hard marathon to run. I've always thought of running one, but again, I don't know if I have the long distance running in me anymore, but we'll see. I gotta do it one more time. Also, LA Pride, it will having their meet and greet and watch party at High Tops Los Feliz, 1714 North Vermont Avenue, at 1 p.m. So come on, roll by, say what's up. And also, Lucky's will be at Lucky Baldwin's, like always, at 1:45. Kickoff is at 1:45. The crew will be at Anger Horse Brewing Co., 603 West Whittier Boulevard, Montebello, California, 90640. Doors open at 12 p.m. Cuervos will be at Game Changers at 13730 Ventura Boulevard, Sherman Oaks, California, 91423. pretty close to me, but unfortunately, I have some meet and greets to go to my own SGs. Love my Cuervos, love my Valley Boys and everything, but I gotta go visit, represent the BA, of course. And expos will be at 33 Taps, 1240 South Figueroa Street, Los Angeles, California, 915 kickoff. And Empire Boys will be at Rowdy's. As always, kickoff starts at 1:30 with them. They are at 1002 6th Street, uh, a, Rancho Cucamonga, California, 9173. And that's about it that I got for it. So those are all the watch parties for the moment. And we'll probably do some more watch parties later on that we'll post because of the away game with Columbus.
Yeah, 100%. Always keep an eye on the Heart of LAFC socials. We're always posting there which watch parties are going on. So if you're in the area of one of them, even if you are not a member of that supporter group, all doors are always open. So if you're in the area where the BA is having theirs, come hang it out. If you're in the area where Expo's having them, go hang out with them. All that kind of stuff. We all get along. We're all happy to share each other and just make sure that you know what you're up to and all that kind of stuff. We have at least one person in the community watching us live at the moment, Smalls Kenobi, asking, should I feel bad for feeling this good about our squad this early in the season? Our boys are solid against the crew. Don't feel bad about feeling how good we are. Just always keep the momentum going. Remember that with the team, the more that you get behind them, the more that they'll be pushing, more that they'll be hoping for the win, and all that kind of stuff. Tony, what do you think? Do you think you should feel bad or should just keep this momentum going?
Keep the momentum going as much as we can. It's going to be a long season. There again with the new rules and we're only in two tournaments because of the new MLS rules. It's going to be very difficult, especially right now with Champions Cup going on. So at this point in time, it's just we have to. Again, I don't want to get stuck. Get stuck in a repeat of last year where we started off really well, and then once we hit mid-season, it just kind of like we hit a dud. So again, long season. Let's just keep the momentum going to Champions Cup, and then hopefully win that. Again, it's gonna after this battle with Columbus. If we move it on to the next round, it's going to be a very difficult uh pathway because we most likely are going to play Miami, and then after that, it's either Monterrey or with Sergio Ramos or Pumas. And then after that, we will face the other side, which is a very formidable side because, of course, they have America, Chivas, and Tigres. So again, still a difficult bracket to get through, but we just got to get it through and through. And yeah,
100%. That's what we'll look at. Keep going and get behind them and all that kind of stuff. And as Tony said, it's a long season. We've got a lot to go for this year, which to me brings us to the Black and Gold Vinyl Club Minute. I've picked this one because of what I did last weekend, and we're looking at the long view of the club, the long view of the season, and all that. I'm going with Green Day's song "Long View" from their Dookie album from 1994. I got to see him play live last Saturday here in Melbourne. It was an absolutely amazing concert. They did the Dookie album and American Idiot in full. They were on stage for almost 3 hours non-stop playing. And if you've never seen them play live, you've got to go see them play live. They're absolutely amazing live. They put on an amazing show. I've seen them 3 times now, and when they come back, again, no matter how much a ticket is, me and the better half will definitely be going to see him again because live they are just absolutely amazing. Tony, do you have any things for the Black and Gold Vinyl Minute, or are you happy with that?
I'm happy with what you chose. Again, I'm always a Green Day fan, always a punk fan, and always love going back to the old school. It feels weird that we can call it old school now and just shows my age of how long ago it was. But the 90s are the new. 60s, I guess is the best way to say it.
100%. That's where you look at. Now let's get into our next game, which is tomorrow. It's a 8:45 a.m. kickoff for me here in Australia, which will be a set 1:45 kickoff for you tomorrow in the afternoon.
It it would be a 1:30 technically, but again, with all the pageantries and everything, it's probably gonna be a 1:45.
Yeah. So we are looking at Seattle. We got Seattle Sounders away tomorrow. It
Hmm.
takes us back to this time, what, 7 years ago. We were just coming back from Seattle from our first ever game up there. Um, looking at how looking at head to head this year, head to head we've been going. We've beaten them 13 times with 4 draws and 6 times they've won. Our last game was the playoffs last year where they beat us 2-1. Not what we wanted, but that is the way it goes. Looking at this game, Tony, to you, what's a couple of things that we have to do to get the 3 points?
Honestly, it's more about like I'm just gonna say we have to manage the team playing at the moment right now because we're in a process of trying to advance to the next round. And I know Tredundolo, with the weapons that we have at the moment, which are really strong, and then of course some people are performing out of their mind, the other people not so much. But in order is just to make sure our I would honestly say our midfield just to be very cohesive and find the opportunities to find Boanga or find Martinez or Ordaz or Idiose. I always butcher his name, apologies. But those are the my one gripe is just making sure the midfield is on point because like again this is the weirdest like statement I think I could probably make is not really a statement but our defense has been the best. I think we have the best defense we've had in all of LAFC's career. It's solid in the back. There's no real weak link apart from Segura. He's still questionable to me a little bit, but he's proving he can man it pretty well. But at the moment, our defense is really good.
100%. I agree with that. Our defense staying strong is what we really need to keep going. Looking at Seattle, they had a nil-nil draw at home to Cruz Azul. You know, that's against former LSU player Bogus, who started for him that game. And then before that, they had a 2-0 loss away to RSL. Those two games are two completely different lineups. Against RSL, they played a 4-2-3-1. Against Cruz Azul, they played a 3-4-3. Um, I think I will see more of probably the Cruz Azul lineup. Having a nil-nil draw at home against Cruz Azul is quite
Mhm.
good for them. With that game, they had three in goal: Tolo, Reagan, Gomez in defense, Roldan, Rusnak, other Roldan, and Vargas in the midfield. And up top, they had Vega, Areola, and Morris. To me, that's exactly what they'll probably run up again. Um, I don't see them changing too much from that, as having a nil-nil draw midweek against Cruz Azul is good for them. They might have they might go with a four at the back if they do. Having um, Bell in the back might help them out, but I don't see them going that way. They'll probably go with the 3-4-3. For us, Tony, what do you think our lineup would be? Do you reckon we'll go to the 3-4-3 or the 4-3-3?
I think we're going to probably go with the 4-3-3. That's been what we've been trying to do, especially with the wing backs that we currently have. Very um, sorry, I had a cough. Very uh very attacking forward and just setting it up. up there. So it just I believe we'll still run the same lineup with the changes most likely being in the in on the top three, which of course Boanga of course starts and everything, but I believe it's always the toss up between our Martinez and Ordaz, which one gets to start, which one will probably fit better against Seattle. And I believe Drew starts this game. Maybe, well, maybe he starts this game, maybe not, because again, it's on turf, so he could opt out to it, and then he plays against Columbus. But I would suspect that Giroud would start this game since he didn't get any minutes last game.
Yeah, no, I agree with there. Obviously, Hugo Lloris in goal. We're not going to change from that. We're going to keep that going
Hmm.
how it is. Central defenders, I'm going to go Long and Marlon again.
Yep.
I'll go for our outside defenders, maybe. No, actually, I'm going to go three at the back. I'm going to go Segura, Long, and Marlon as our defenders. Midfield, I'm going to go Tillman, Jesus, Yaboa, and Plencia as our wing midfielders. Up top, obviously Bournemouth is going to play. Who we're going to struggle to have him so he doesn't want to play. Although I think he does deserve a rest. I think that he's going to demand to play, and Dolo will go, "Yep, you want to play, you're playing." I see Ordaz starting, and again, I want Bobassi to start, but I think it's going to be Giroud. And on that note, Joseph, going through our starting 11
Good
for
evening.
our starting 11 against Seattle. What do you think our starting 11 will be?
I mean, I think it's going to be kind of similar to what we saw against Columbus, to be honest. It's what's working right now. The one switch out, of course, would be the Martinez or Daz setup. But again, they're interchangeable and what fits best. You know, with Seattle, they're not as fast as us, right? There's a speed aspect there where either Ordaz or Martinez going after Tolo all game would kind of be a good matchup, right? So you got to figure out who you want more. I feel like it'll be Martinez to start or Daz to come in, and we'll just overload that side. Tolo had a horrible match last time around. So, hey, it could happen again, right?
True, it could
The
happen
new,
again. Do you
I was
see?
just go for it.
Yeah, do you see Bobassi starting, or do you reckon Drew will start because Drew didn't play any minutes against Crew?
Don't be surprised if he starts. I kind of expected at this stage because I know Columbus and the scoreline that we have against Columbus is really good, but you still have to go back into their house and do the job, right? You could get whitewashed anyway. It looks like we've got their number at this point, but we know how tournaments play out, and you cannot take chances. That's the focus that we're on is CONCACAF. The league, hey, we pull it off, cool, but they want to get the job done next week. So yeah, I would expect Giroud at this point. Wonga will never come out. Like he's just not until he has to. Midfield situation. I mean, why change it if it's working? So yeah, we're not that heavy in midfield anyway, so our options are very limited. So
What about the
backline
new
wise,
striker?
I think he might come in. I'd kind of expect maybe a show up bit, you know, if he made the trip, right? Get a few minutes in and that would be it. But again, a new player, no time with us, terrible turf to play on. Do you risk it? Do you not risk it? Do you give him that chance to come in and do something special against Columbus in a couple days? You know, easing him in would make more sense. So I'm not sure, but don't be shocked if he gets a few show up minutes.
Yeah, no, I see that there too. I personally see us starting Ordaz over Martinez for the pure fact that Martinez played 76 minutes against Crew. So I reckon the way I look at it is whoever played the most will start on the bench the next game. They'll just change them out because, as you said, they are both pretty much the same player. They interchange quite seamlessly. If Bouanga said, I want to sit for the first half or just play me the first half, I can see that happening because I see that he wants to beat Crew at Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see if he goes, I want to be prepped and ready for that game over this game. I can see that. Which if that does happen, you might see Martinez and Ordaz starting with Druid up top. So maybe Druid scores a goal.
One would hope at this point. Something's got to give. So, let's all hope and pray it's this week. I mean, I look at Bouanga, and there's some history with Seattle too for him. It's not a friendly rivalry. We'll leave it at that, right? He wants a piece of those guys too, and right now they're winless in MLS play, right? Lost in a tie. They haven't looked that great. Salt Lake looked like they had an easy game against them last time, but they've been pretty successful at CONCACAF, right? They did well against Cruz Azul. So we know what they're capable of at Seattle, and we know what they're capable of at home. So I think those in our team that have been here for a while, they're gonna want a shot at these guys, especially if you can really bury them with another one, because their lineup could be modified because of so much games on their hand as well. Yeah, you're gonna want to go at these guys when you can.
100%. And that's the way we look at it going in there too. Another thing I want to bring up with you guys that I saw before we started this podcast today was, have you guys seen the club roster profiles for spring 2025 that the league put out the other day?
The roster profiles.
Yes. So they put out the club roster profiles for spring 2025 with GAM. It's a PDF link that I put in our little private chat here. And it shows you that as of February 28, 2025, how much 2025 GAM each club has. So we currently have 512,000 GAM. That's what we have left to spend. Cincinnati has $6,452 of GAM to spend for the rest of this year. Our friends down the road, San Diego, have $4.1 million in GAM to spend.
De Bruyne,
our
right?
friends at Carson, they got $0 left to spend.
They're stuck.
They got $0 of GAM to spend. And going by what I saw as of December 10th last year, they had $2.4 million in GAM. Now they got none.
Yeah, I mean, look what they spent. Yeah.
We had 3.7, and now we've got just over $500,000.
I mean, what do you think we're going to use that for, or are we going to buy more? I have a feeling we'll buy more.
I'm not sure, but also through here, they also had the roster profiles as of March 3rd, 2025. So obviously we have 3 designated players, Bouanga, Giroud, and Under. We have 3 under 22 initiative players, Jesus, Martinez, and Slomikov. Our 10 players are Delgado, Ibobasi, Gonzalez, who's unavailable on loan, Aaron Long, Marlon, and Tillman. There are 10 players.
Okay.
Our non-10 players are obviously Chanot, Hollingshead, our player on loan, Home, Hugo Lloris, Palencia, Segura, Tafari, Yaboa. They're our non-10 players. Our supplementary roster players are Bombino, Delaval, Hassel, David Ochoa, Nathan Ordaz, Saldana, and Wibobo. And our off-roster player is Jude Terry, but he can come up as a short-term contract player. So that's what the off-roster player means. But going through that list I just read too, we have 1, 2, 3 players that are out of contract after this year that don't have an option. Those 3 players are Chino, Ryan Hollingshead, and Sergio Palencia. Out of those 3 players, who do we really need to keep and re-sign?
I think Hollingshead is a given on this one. It's the one. I mean, we love Palencia and what he brings to it, but reminds me a lot of Escobar, right?
Yep.
Add the budget. We're moving on. Like, the profile's the same there. It is. And then Chino, he's been hurt to start the season, right? He hasn't been at full health. He came in kind of as a late addition, and now we have a strong center. Marlone's been amazing for us. I'll say that right now. He's been fantastic. So we now have a battle for center back. And De La Valle, future back, right? How soon is that future? So Chino up in the air. Palencia probably no. Hollingshead probably yes.
Yep. Well, De La Valle has a contract through 2026 with an option for 2027.
Yeah. Future.
Yeah.
But the future may be now, right? Once he's healthy. So we'll see what comes of that.
But yeah, going through this list, there's some clubs that are very, very solid for the next couple of years. Like, for example, Dallas. They've got 1 player that doesn't have a contract past this year, or at least an option past this year, and that's a player that got on loan. The rest of it are the contracts through 2026, 2027, or the options for 2026 and 2027.
We moved a lot of players off too.
Yep.
In the offseason. So
and then you got teams like Inter Miami that have a lot of players out of contract after this year with no options. That includes their 3 DPs. That includes their most high-known TAM player, Suarez.
It's just amazing. TAM player.
It is.
Yeah. Well, that team, they're going to spend anything they can to keep who they've got, right? I mean, they've got this formula. The Messi rumors back to Barcelona are a little bit wild. Running around right now. Could you imagine if that happens? But they're going to spend anything they can to keep that team together. It also has rules. They've got their own rules at this point.
No. I was gonna say the Club World Cup is like, I don't know if nothing's been confirmed, but I've heard so many rumors that you can now borrow like 6 players to put on your team for the Club World Cup now, or something like that.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, but they want to make that work. But yeah, I just saw that and I thought maybe that's a really interesting thing, seeing how much people got for GAM for this year to spend or don't have to spend this year, and be able to go through and see all the contracts and all that kind of stuff. So if you don't know, or you do want to have a look at it, I'll post it up. I'll get it posted up on our socials over the next couple of days so you can have a read through it. There's some really interesting stuff on there, especially seeing from other clubs too, who's out of contract. So who could LAFC possibly go get next year from different clubs and all that kind of stuff. You know, there's some big names out there that don't have contracts past this year and all that kind of stuff. Like, for example, I think the biggest one I saw, which was a surprise to me, was Brian White. He's got a contract to 2027, but he's not a DP for Vancouver. He's a TAM player.
Yeah. That's crazy too. He's essential for them. You can't move him. He has to be there. Like they have Vancouver's got so much potential. They really do. There's a lot of potential there. They don't really realize it, right? I mean, they don't really follow through with it, but the bones are there. Could they do more? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
But
Yeah, no, it's just something that I thought that would be good to discuss about and seeing what's different out there and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, our options are strange because we have this new Turkish player that comes in, but he's only until the summer. So it's a rental potential purchase, but if it doesn't work out, then we're getting somebody else, guys. I mean, or that's specifically why he's here. He's going to do the work for us in CONCACAF, right? And we do this, and then we move on to some other star player when it's time. Not sure what we're going to do yet.
But that's something to look at and all that kind of stuff. Before we wrap up this episode, Joseph, anything you want to talk about the Crew game from midweek or New York from the beginning of the week?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, positively delighted with the performance against Columbus. I know they're not the same team. No Cucho, no problem. It feels. You could tell what was missing. The other interesting development was the way they approached us last year is different than the way they approached us in this match, and our approach changed. Right, we were kind of getting run out, and they were pegging back our outside backs, and this time they were moving free on these guys. They could not hold those guys back. We were in the mix, and willing to sacrifice a lot of possession as necessary to hit on counters. It just seemed like a much more intelligent approach from our side this time around. It just did. The game plan seemed a little different, and it worked. I know there's different characters in the game, different players in the game, but it was still a better approach than what we've done in the past. And Martinez, this kid is amazing. I just, there's a little more we need right from him. We see it, but his confidence, his ability out there, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. He's definitely a special player. It's gonna be fun to see how he develops as the season progresses, and I hope he doesn't get stuck on the bench with limited minutes going forward, since we've got a new player coming in. Yeah, it's tough, right? Now there's a challenge for minutes.
100%, but we'll see what happens. Having that challenge for minutes can help a player reach that next step in their career. They've got to grind harder at training. They've got to step up more and go do all that kind of stuff. But that's what we will all look at, and that's how we go through. We'll move on to the final thoughts, Tony, because I know you're under the weather at the moment. We'll start with you so we can get you out of here so you can go relax. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts is drink your vitamins and drink your orange juice. Make sure you're well, because I am sick, and those are the things that I usually don't do. Make sure you keep hydrated as well. But yeah, so let's just, with the watch parties coming up, it's a good time to, have a time to relax. We'll be at the stadium again sooner than later, coming up soon. Again, that game's going to be a very difficult time. We'll talk about it when we cross that road. But also, our new mascot is 4-0. So, Indy, let's keep it going. Hopefully, you made the trip out there with the boys so we can keep that winning streak with them.
100%. Joseph, final thoughts?
One, I'd like to congratulate my boys tonight. I was actually coaching a high school team tonight. We finished 4th in the tournament. That's why I was so late. We weren't expected to even get out of the first round. So good on the boys. To everybody else, sorry I was late because of that. I'm really looking forward to seeing what our guys can offer Seattle. This has been a very different vibe for this team, right? Usually we're this possession and take it. It's a different look, but the results are happening, and in any old way you can get a win, you get a win. I do like what I'm seeing from the midfielders that we currently have. We need to bolster that, but hey, the job is being done, so happy about it. For everybody going to the watch parties, have a great time. I know watch parties are back, everybody. Have a great time out there. Look out for each other, because this is a watch party we're talking about. make sure that we're all set for the next week. And momentum is what it is. And of course, thank you to these boys for getting this thing going as I was running in and going, boy, I'm not going to make this. They saved the day yet again. So tip of the hat to you guys. That's my final thoughts.
Awesome. My final thought is, Joseph, be late whenever you want. Me and Tony, we've got this. We'll get this thing started. We all jump on. Congratulations to you boys in the tournament. For those going to the watch party, be good, look after each other, have fun. If you need help, if you're mentally not there and all that kind of stuff, there is help out there. The Department of Mental Health, Los Angeles County, the helpline is 800-854-7771. That's 800-854-7771. Reach out to them if you need them. If you don't want to talk to them, you talk to one of us. We're always here to lend help. Conversations can change a life, can save a life, and just be out there. Be a good human person. And you all know how we end the episode. Tony?
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
We're
Joseph?
going to see Bam in 2 weeks. Stay golden, Los Angeles.
And from me to all you guys, stay golden.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.